Hello, this is Matthew Hunt speaking here from Small Business Online Coach, and we're going to be covering the final video in our free Google Maps SEO and marketing course. This is the free version. We have another version coming out that's a slightly upgraded version that will be for paid users, and it'll just hold all their little tiny secrets. But this will cover, a good 80% of what it is, and if you follow this stuff that we suggest, you'll probably rank very, very well within the Google Maps 7 pack. So today we're going to talk about, we spent a lot on the other two lessons on sort of the on-page factors to Google Maps. And that accounts for probably about 25-30% of your rankings within Google Maps, we believe. Now, nobody knows the full algorithm, but we do believe that there's sort of three major parts to ranking within the Google Maps 7-pack here. And how we know this is we look at the, really popular or most competitive, not necessarily popular, most competitive industries, something like hotels in New York City, and we analyze what's going on there and what determines their rankings. And the same thing we look at a lot of other industries as too. And you can see where this is going. Immediately you can see one of the most important off-page factors is reviews. Look at all these reviews, and all industries will eventually become like this. You may only have a few reviews as competitors who have 2 or 3 or maybe 6. Well, that's great news for you because you can come along and start collecting reviews and getting your clients involved with some reviews. And even just collecting 3 or 4 a month at the end of the year, you could really have 50, 60 reviews. And if you do that for a couple of years and get ahead of your competition, it's very hard for them to catch up. So let's just open up and take a look here at a listing here is number 1 on page 1 for hotels in New York City, and we're going to discuss some of the off-page factors, okay? One of the major factors is something called citations, and citations is just a reference to your business name. It's called the NAP, as a name, address, phone number. It's where they find that your business name exactly as is, your address, and your phone number. And the more places that Google finds that on credible sites, it counts as like a vote. Now, just like links, not all citations are created equal. Obviously, a citation from Wikipedia or the BBB or Yellow Pages, some sort of authority directory, has more weight than Joe Blow's blog. But it's a balance between getting lots of citations and also getting quality citations. And as we can see here, if we come down and we scroll down here, this section that says right down here, more about this place, is the section that lists all the citations. And we see here it shows 5 of them, but it also shows that there's another 644. So this particular business, Google has found 649 other places where it's found the name and phone number, or the name and address, or the name, address, and phone number. And any combination of those, obviously having all 3 is better. And if you clicked on this link and went over there, you're going to find their business name and phone number, or their business name and address, or their business name, address, and phone number, the NAP. Okay, and you can do this in many ways. One of the ways that we suggest that you do this right away is run over to something called Universal Business Listings, and you can set up a listing here for about $30 to $50, and it's going to distribute via API to all the major directories. Now, what I would do is I wouldn't leave it just as that, and I want you to go through and hand submit over time. It's a quick way to get your information up, but there's nothing better than actually hand submitting and claiming your individual direct listings. A lot of people just submit here, and a lot of services just submit this for you on your behalf and will charge you a couple $100 to do so, and this is what they're using. They're using Universal Business Listings. So instead of having them do that, do it yourself for 30, $50, or do it and then do what we suggest is then start to hand submit the stuff and claim your listings on every single major authority directory. Now, the next thing you want to look at is reviews, and you can see that they're pulling reviews here from Yahoo, from Priceline, TripAdvisor, and Booking.com. Now, lots of different niches have reviews from lots of different places, and what we suggest you do is find out where the reviews are coming from for your particular business category. It could be from places like Yelp or Insider Pages, or if you're a doctor, from ratemds.com, or if you're a general contractor in Canada, it could be Homestars or Kudzu. And you got to remember what Google does is they import data just like a search engine, and they post it in here. So you don't want to just get reviews only on your Google Maps. Make sure you're also getting reviews from other authority review places. Now, the last on-page factor we believe that accounts for rankings is something called user content, which is really My Maps. And so you just need to get people to ping your listing in My Map.